welcome back to Life Talk with Lady T. And today I am joined by the lovely Renee Ashley, and we are going to discuss women supporting women. Stay tuned.
Hi, you guys. My name is Brene Ashley. I consider myself a woman of many titles. So I'm a Montessori mom. I consider a serial entrepreneur, a herbalist, and former model, and a social advocate.
Well, what does support mean to you?
I think support could come in a lot of shapes and forms. My biggest support in the past has been just words of affirmation. For the most part, it's a lot of struggles I had internally in the past with like feeling like I was inadequate or having imposter syndrome and just like a lot of emotional battles. In my friends or family or whatever, they might just say, well, you know what, you're a strong Black woman, or that was real courageous, or that was like, oh my goodness, like you are so strong for doing that. And I'm like, I am. What? It's like I wasn't thinking about these things. I was just doing because that was what was inside of me. But it took for somebody else at that point to acknowledge it, or even if I did acknowledge it and I'm going back having an internal struggle of, is this the truth or not, for somebody else to come and say, well, wow, wow, that was amazing what you did, or wow, this and that and whatever. So at that, like for a long time, that's what it took, like words of affirmation. At this point, it's not the same. I would say more so a lot of the support that I get now is just from on a base, I don't want to say basic, but support, and just like asking if I need help with anything. I had a friend come over to help me like brainstorm about campaign ideas that I had for a product. I have a friend, which we consider ourselves accountability partners. So we're supporting one another. Mm-hmm. She will talk me through some of my processes in the marketing firm. So, and just a lot of what I mean by these examples is a lot of it is actually people. I have people now that actually put in work and time around me, whether it be for advice or just letting me talk something through with them, or them coming over and being the, I guess the back eyes to make sure, like, to get behind the scenes and stuff like that. So that's been most of the support, or sending me saying, oh, I seen such and such is looking for a marketing person, and sending it to me and stuff like that. And that's been really, really helpful at this stage.
Okay. I think that, support for me, I guess it depends in what exactly I'm doing. But a lot of times support is really just kind of being the sounding board. It's like being a trusted person, being the sounding board for ideas. And like, you got to be careful when you be telling people your ideas, only because I'm one of those people, I'm like all over the place. I'm like, so I want to do this, and this. And they'll be like, what the heck is she talking about? But at the same time, it's like, okay, I didn't say I was going to do all this right now. I was just saying it popped up in my head. So I had to say it to somebody. But now I'm like, okay, let me write this down. But really, it's just being like a sounding board for certain things. I'm personally one of those people, like, if my friend come to me and they have an idea for something, like, I don't have to completely understand it. But if you ask me to, like, step in, help, to share it or do whatever it is, I'm like, you ain't even got to ask. I got you. I know what you're trying to do. Boom. Yeah. I'm going to share it. I'm going to post it. I'm going to tell somebody about it. It's not up to me to understand your journey, your path, your beginning, your ending. But if I can be of assistance, I'll be of assistance. That's what we need.
Yeah. But I definitely feel you on that, because I was that type of person. Well, not was. I still am. It's just like trying to do a lot of things. which I feel like I'm in the process of settling down. But like even now, and what I learned, like even now, when I might have a lot of ideas, but I'll tell people 1 or 2 ideas at a time. Like any more than that, not everybody, but some people just like, what? After you tell them anymore, it's like, okay, first I was with you, but now it's like, I don't know, you trying to do too much. Yeah.
I think I just got to have, I tell you, I'm working on projects. Somebody will say, oh, you got a lot of projects. Yeah, I got them.
Yeah.
But I think that just comes with the nature of it. Like, you got to keep those ideas in your head. What does the word self-made mean to you?
I feel like usually when people say self-made, they're talking about like business owners and people who like grown a large company and made a lot of money. Which when I think about that and I hear self-made, I feel like money and resources are a product of how you treat yourself and the habits that you have and that you produce on. And if you start on a small level and they grow bigger and bigger to the point that they come into fruition and tangible resources. So when I hear self-made, I don't necessarily take it as nobody helped me or nobody gave me anything, because it's definitely people that have helped me in certain ways, given me advice, at a certain point might lend me some money. So, but I when I hear self-made, I feel like that speaks to how I treat myself and that I'm producing the person that I want to be. And what that means is creating the schedules and habits and boundaries and the focus and the time and attention on the things that I want to spend them on. And as I started doing that, and as I started doing that, and I continue to see them come into fruition and intangible, whether it be in money or networks or the business or whatever. But I found like just me being conscious about the things that I accept verbally, visually, emotionally, and just taking care of certain things and making sure I'm putting my attention on things that I feel like they should be spent on, whether it's reading business books or reading about meditation or whatever it may be, that I'm spending the time and the intention and the consciousness on who I want to be. And then what I have or what I want to have will come after I spend that time creating the person that I want to be internally. That's how I feel. That makes sense.
See, you put a whole different take on what I was thinking of self-made. A whole different take on it, but I like your take on it, because I was going to say that, but over time I've just come to feel like the word self-made is a very arrogant term, because I don't think anyone is self-made in the way that people like to be boastful about it. There, in order for you to have, like, you can be self-made broke, but in order for you to be self-made, someone has always had to support you. So you can have a clothing line, don't nobody buy it. You ain't self-made. You made yourself broke. That's it. And it's impossible. Like, there's always, and I feel like it's arrogant because you always have to give back, like, and be grateful for the fact that people are showing you support. People are buying whatever it is you're selling. Now, it's great that you put out a product that people enjoy. Yes, you may have made the product yourself, but even if unless you like sold and handmade everything, I don't think anyone can ever truly say that they are self-made and successful at it.
Yeah, I agree.
You got readers, they bought your book. People, they bought your clothes, they listen to your music. So to say you're self-made,
people that you might have partnered with, people that gave you help, a loan. Even if you might have had somebody working for a cheaper rate when you first started out, or even if they're not working for a cheaper rate, you still got their support and their
sounding board.
Yeah, just different things. So I don't. And then actually, that's what it's funny. Nipsey Hussle has a line in one of his songs that he says like self-made, meaning he designed himself, which means like he's not talking about like to what you and I are saying, like he's not talking about like he built the whole business by himself, but like more so like he became the person that he wanted to be. So
I'm gonna have to go listen to that song because I see that when I can get behind someone being self-made. And then this is kind of off topic, but especially when it comes to like people that will blame their upbringing or their parents or their circumstances for why they are who they are. And I'm like, at some point you reach a certain age where you can't blame your past on who you are. You have to determine who it is you want to be as a person and do the work to become that thing.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm not gonna that song. Do you feel that women are conditioned to see each other as competition?
I think I don't know if I would say condition. I think it's definitely like things out there that advance like the notion that all women are competitive and all women are jealous of each other and all women are like catty and talking behind people's backs and whatnot. And I mean, of course that goes on amongst certain women and certain women groups, but I don't, I mean, and it's, I think, advanced through conversations with certain people, the media, like what you see on TV, and different things. But I'm not sure if I would use the word condition, because I think only reason why I say that is because I think that has to do with the way your upbringing too. Like, did you see your mom, your aunt, your grandmother, or whatever females were around you working together? Did you see them working together amongst themselves? And did you see them working together with other women? Like, how did you see that interaction? What were the things they said about other people when those people were not there? Like, what did you see on all angles? And how did they talk about other women? And I think that has a lot to do too of people's perception of if women like work together or not. So I think if what you believe is what you see. So sometimes most of the time I would say, oh, that's your perception. What you believe is your perception, not what you see. But yeah.
Okay, so I don't think all women are conditioned to view each other as competition. I think that sometimes that narrative, it can shift over time. And like, I remember seeing a post, which was just this week, and I think it was the worst thing that a woman can do was to tell her daughter that all women are her friends, or that she should shift and change herself to make everyone like her. So I guess that was it. It was about being liked by everyone. And I was like, I mean, this is not a bad statement, but at the same time, no, don't change yourself so people will like you. But why can't she think that everyone is her friend? Now, of course, if somebody else's daughter is telling their daughter, no, everybody is not your friend, and that narrative just kind of drops on its own. Well, you have to think, why is it now that we're at this point where you got to tell your child, no, everyone's not your friend, everyone's not going to be nice to you? Very true, but why? I'm not going to say it that way. I'm always going to ask them, but why? Why got to be that way? Why can't we all just get along? And I think that's something that's like, it's more internal about people. Like, I remember you were saying things about feeling inadequate, and I think that some people have that syndrome that makes them feel like I gotta be the baddest so and so, or the baddest such and such. Or even if somebody is trying to, and I kind of think this is a little toxic though, when people will tell their daughters, like, daughters, or it could be your friend, feel kind of off one day and your friend be like, the girl ain't got nothing on you because you this, you that. And in order for them to make their friend feel good, they got to put everybody else damn.
Yeah.
So then that goes back to make like now making us look like competition again. We're not. Like they look good and I look good.
Yeah. And I think to that end also, like people upbringing is a lot of times I heard people, well now and even as a child, like hear people, parents like, you see such and such, they doing this, they doing that, you know, you need to get on. Like, no, I don't believe in that. I believe you should do your best, but it should not be hinged upon the next woman or man. Like, it shouldn't be hinged upon like what somebody else is doing. They not you and you not them. And when you create that that basis of like you making that their basis of activity, basically like, okay, why should I get good grades or why should I look a certain way? Because this person, like, even if you are considered an attractive person or a smart person, I wouldn't put my focus on that. Like, I mean, not focus on what somebody else is doing. Even if you are considered more attractive than that person, you still change the focus to, okay, I'm good because I look better than so-and-so. Oh, I'm good because they like you put yourself in a place of potential stress, like stress and emotional weights that you don't have to have. You can just focus on yourself and improving yourself and being that, I feel like, and be more in a peaceful state than like focusing on somebody else. But like you said, it's a lot of people that do, and without realizing that they're doing that. Again, sometimes people have good intentions, sometimes they don't, but it's a lot of people with good intentions and parents with good intentions that they think that's the best thing to say to their daughters. Like, but
like it don't make me feel good to put somebody else down. Like, I'm not on that.
It's like, but that comes out of like the parents' perception. It's like, okay, I don't think necessarily, why don't you leave so and so out of it and just nurture who your daughter is. And I like, I would definitely agree with that.
Like, who was it? I think it was the video of a little girl that was getting her hair done on live, and she looked at the camera and she said, I'm so ugly. I'm like, no. But I love what the hairstylist did. Like, I didn't hear her say no, because you better than so and so, you better than so. She just told her, this is the qualities that you have to offer. And I just be wondering why people, and it goes beyond just kids, because then people get older and they carry that same thing where they got to walk in the room. Like everyone is their competition. I even remember sitting at work and saying that, well, I had to go to my shop owner and be like, look, we got to have a conversation because there was some drama that was going on in the hair salon. And I had to sit in front of a room with grown women, but I don't have no competition. I don't have any competition, but who I was yesterday, all of y'all do great work. I could probably learn from y'all. There's some things you can learn from me, but like little nonsense stuff got to stop. I'm like, I wouldn't even expect to be like in my 20s and I had this conversation with people.
Well, some people carried on to the day they die at age 70. It was whatever. So I'm like, that's not the person I want to be, or necessarily the type of people that I would like to constantly be in my presence. So I just, I'm like, when I see that, I'm like, okay, that time will get limited that I spend around that person.
Was there ever a time when you expected support from either maybe someone that you work, like a female that you worked with, or from a friend or a family member, and then you didn't get it? And then the second portion is, how did that affect the relationship, if at all?
I can say that it was a person who didn't support me in the way that I wanted them to support me. They might have felt like they were supporting me, but what I expected was different from what they did. And for that, I kind of like our relationship and interaction like some space, because I'm like, oh, okay. Again, like we're not, I don't know. I mean, it could have been an opportunity of discussion, but, and that's something I need to get better at maybe. But I just was like, well, you know what? I'm just gonna have to limit our interactions because in my time spent like supporting these people, I spent like money, time, resources, all that when I could be working on my own stuff. And when I'm asking this person for support and they have a reason and excuses and all types of other things why they can't, or it's not time for that, or whatever else. And it's like, okay, at this point, I just disengage. Yeah. And I can't even say that. We did have a discussion. It wasn't about support, but specifically support, but it was a discussion about how our just having a disagreement about the relationship and things the way it was playing out. But it wasn't like an argument, but we still didn't agree. We still don't agree. We still don't agree. But it's like, okay, I respect that person and who they are, what they're trying to do, and hopefully they respect me and who I am and what I'm trying to do. But we just can't be in the same space for too frequently anymore. And I just can't work with them. I just can't work with them that much because I just don't feel like it's supportive to who I'm trying to be and the people that I want around me at this point. So.
Yeah, I think, and I've had similar experiences, but I think it's funny because sometimes, like, the lack of support will come from the people that you totally do not expect it to come from. But I remember in another business that I'm in, they said the person that you expect to do the business with you probably won't, and the people that you don't expect to do the business with you probably will. But it's really not your job to put or decipher that. You just kind of throw it out there and see what happens. Yeah. But I've definitely had that experience when I was like, okay, I'm always there for this person. Anytime this person asks me to do something, I'm always there. And then when it was time to flip it, I was just like, oh. So we just not going to support, and we never talked about it. And I think that it's very hard to even have those discussions, especially when it comes to being something, like being when you're trying to step out on your own. Like, because you put so much of yourself into it, your energy, your passion, it almost feels like a direct slap in the face when somebody's just like, I'm not going to do it. And then it's very hard for it to not affect the relationship. I mean, I guess certain people's relationships can get past it, but it depends. It depends. If, like, you're asking someone to put up money for some business that you want to do, and they decide, I don't really think it's a good business move. You might feel away, but it's also money at the same time. So that's their investment, and maybe they didn't see it in you at the time. Maybe they'll see it later. But there are definitely some levels to support that there ain't no way to avoid that one. You're gonna feel away.
Because it's like, okay, if at a certain point where like you put out all these resources to help and support this person and it's not reciprocated, then like you're saying, of course it's going to affect the relationship because it brings into question a lot of things, like the trust, like the level of honesty, like like, is that person really here, or are they here for like the things they could get? Like, and that's in different ways. Like, maybe it's financially, maybe it's emotionally. Like, because some people are depleted emotionally and they need somebody's support, but they can't give it. So it's like, it's just so many things that come into play, and you're like, okay, I don't know if this relationship is good for me. Because value for it, because they feel like if else, whether it's another person or organization or entity, of course. If I knew Beyonce, more money being thrown at me, not put in what you have. Not